Hello and welcome. Thank you all for joining me today. If I don't know you yet, my name is Jessica Hesser, and I'm going to be sharing with you today about these incredible patches. Also, a little bit about this business opportunity here. So, if that's something that you're interested in, be sure to stay till the end of the call. I'm going to do my best to make this short and sweet for everyone. We have some really brilliant team members who do these calls regularly, and I realized as I was watching some of their calls, they talk really fast. They keep it at a half an hour. I don't know that I can talk that fast, and I'm excited to share a lot with you today, but I'm going to do my best to keep it short and sweet. So, again, thank you all for coming. I just want to start by sharing a little bit about myself, my journey with these patches. The patches actually first crossed my field about 2 years ago, but I didn't start using them regularly until about a year ago. So this is my 12th month on the patches. And the way that I got introduced to them was actually I met a woman I knew in person at an event in Florida, and her skin looked so amazing. Like so amazing. She looked 10 years younger. And this is someone who's very into health and wellness, so I didn't think she was, doing anything funky. So I asked her what she was doing for her skin, and she pulled this this out of her purse and said the patches. And that was all I needed. I'm like, okay, sign me up. I'm ordering some right now. Um, so that's where I got started with them. And well, a little about me first. I'm 44. I have two grown adult children now. I have an amazing husband. We live in Montana, just outside of Glacier Park, in a cabin. And yeah, being 44 and wanting to age gracefully, my first interest in the patches were these skin benefits that I was seeing, in real life. Um, so I started using the patches, and I was a little bit of a late bloomer with them. We have some people come in and they start on these patches and they have these incredible experiences right away. There have been some in our community, a beautiful woman named Marcy who was really struggling to walk for about a year and was walking in 4 days. So these are what we call one patch wonders, people that have just immediate, oh my God, results. I was not actually that person. I was slow to have my experience with them, and it took really 3 to 4 months. I don't remember the exact timeline, but as I think about it more, I think it was more towards 4 months in. And I had when I came into the patches again, it was this interest in the skin benefits, really. I felt pretty good in my body, or so I thought. I didn't come in with any major health things going on. I actually had 17 years of a health journey, chronic pain, chronic illness that I cleared several years ago. And so, comparatively, I've been feeling really good in my body. I thought I felt really good, although there were a few things that were frustrating to me. But in retrospect, I didn't know what I didn't know. And I'm just kind of realizing this. I didn't know how much better it could get. The things that were frustrating me at the time that I actually didn't even relate to, like I wasn't using the patches, thinking the patches were going to support me with these things at all. My entry was the skin, but they did. So I had two kind of big things going on. One was I had started for about a year and a half to really lose my strength in my body. And many moons ago, I was a personal trainer, so I'm pretty resourced in how to support the body and how to support my physical strength through exercise, through nutrition, but nothing was working anymore. No matter what I did, I just kept getting weaker. And I'm someone that really loves my body and my experience in my body. I feel, very grateful to be in this miracle vessel and get to experience life through it. And there is a lot of life I want to experience. So I want my body to be strong. So that was really frustrating to me to have this just decline in weakness that didn't seem to shift no matter what I did. I chalked it up to, okay, it's probably aging. The other thing going on was a change in my cycles, which had previously been very uneventful. I'm never someone that had had a lot of difficulty with cycles, but all of a sudden I was having pretty severe mood swings every month. My husband will attest. I was turning into a bit of a lunatic for about a week every month. And also physical, like extreme exhaustion, also during that week. It was just, it started to really disrupt my life. And both of those, I thought, okay, it's probably aging. Although I will say I'm someone who has a lot of questions about aging and how much of what we experience as this aging is biological versus an imbalance versus just, what we believe from the stories we're told about what has to happen. So, anyways, I started on these patches for my skin. Um, I was using them for several months, not really noticing much of an effect, but I had them. They're so easy to use, so I just kept sticking them on. About 3, 4 months in, all of a sudden, my workouts completely changed. This was the first thing I really noticed. I was getting to the end of my workouts, which I had been just dragging myself through, and I would finish and I still had a full tank. Like I could do a whole nother workout if I wanted. I doubled the weights that I was lifting in my workouts. Like all of a sudden, just accessing this massive amount of strength and stamina and endurance in my body. And that made me so freaking happy. So happy. Living here in Montana, I've got a lot of mountains to climb, and it had started to get challenging, and it was such a bummer. And now I'm doing it effortlessly again, and I enjoy that kind of freedom. So that was the first thing. The next thing that happened was my hair started growing like crazy. And this was also very exciting. Living up here in the mountains, we pull our water from this stream nearby, which is wonderful because it's so rich in minerals and it's so clean. But it's very hard water, and my hair was breaking faster than it was growing. And all of a sudden, I started getting length for the first time in years. That really, really excited me, you guys. I mean, there's so many incredible things these patches can do, but I say all the time, and I mean it, if all they did was grow my hair the way that they're doing it, I would be set. I would be done. Like that's enough for me. Things like my nails growing, I had funny little things happen. Like I had dry eyes for 10 years, and all of a sudden my eyes weren't dry anymore. And then about 6, 7 months in, I had a major detox. And I had one night I went to bed and I had a massive sweat. And I woke up in the morning in like this puddle of sweat. And what had come out of me was uh, the fumes from it were so strong that I had to physically get up out of bed because I couldn't breathe and change the sheets and wash myself off. And those fumes smell just like anesthesia that I had also smelled coming out of me 10 years ago when I had a surgery. So I think that stuff had been in me for a very, very long time. I sweated out about 6, 7 months in. And on the other side of this, all of the things that were going on with my cycle, so the mood swings, the exhaustion, even like the monthly headaches I was having disappeared. Have not had any of it since. None. So really, those are kind of like the big changes that I've had, but there is this other just really beautiful kind of subtle effect of I just keep feeling better and better in my body. I've started saying last month, I feel like I'm in my 20s, only my 20s really sucked. I was a mental and emotional mess in my 20s, so it was not a fun time. But physically, I feel like I'm in my 20s, and mentally and emotionally, I'm in a good place. So I am now having a really fun time. And these benefits just, they continue to compound, they continue to get deeper. Um, so that's my story with the patches, and I'm going to tell you all about where these came from, what they do, and again, a little bit about the business. And I just want to give you a tiny, actually, real quick, if there's anyone else here on the call that have been using the patches, I would love for you to share in the chat with others what kind of benefits you've experienced since you've been on them. And while you do that, I just want to tell you real quick a little bit about my business background, and why I've chosen this company, this business to partner with. So I've actually done this direct sales model one other time in my life. I had a really beautiful experience, very successful, um, and for various reasons decided though to put that business down about a year ago. After I did that, I decided to take a mini retirement and wasn't planning on doing another business. In that interim, LifeWave came back around. Like I said, I actually ran into this company 2 years ago, and interestingly, when I first came across it 2 years ago, uh, I am someone that I know an opportunity when I see it. And when I actually looked into the business opportunity itself that 2 years ago, what I felt was electric in my body. But at that time, I was with another company. I had another business I was deeply devoted to, and I decided not to pursue this because of that devotion. As life would have it, things changed. My path rerouted. When LifeWave came back around, I was first using the patches, and then the business opportunity pack popped back up, and I was in this semi-retirement. Said I wasn't gonna build a business again. Didn't really have it in my plans. However, two things happened. One, there was this inner voice that kept saying, Jessica, you're gonna do this. And I don't know about you, but that inner voice is that's boss. Even if I have arguments against it, even if I have doubts, I always live my life by following that inner call. And, even if I try to delay it a little bit, it wins out. So I heard that voice so clearly. I've heard it in the past in other things, and I heard it here, and it was very direct. It actually screamed at me one time. It was like yelling, go do this. The other thing that happened that changed my mind was my experience with the patches. I started to have these great benefits, and I was like, holy cow, these things are amazing. So I said yes, and here we are. And I'm going to share with you now a little bit about this company. I'm going to use some slides, and uh, bear with me. I've been using Zoom for 10 years for business now, and this is only the second time I have ever used slides. So hopefully it will work. I have Tiff here to be my wing woman if needed. All right. Let me share. Can everyone see this? Yeah? Okay. Amazing. So we know we're here for learning about these patches, the X39, these incredible stem cell patches. And real quick before I get into anything, I want to just give a disclaimer. We are not here to say that we heal, treat, cure, or diagnose any medical condition or disease. All right. So I told you a little bit about my story. We're going to go over the product, the company, the business plan and opportunity, and how you can get started. All right. So these patches all start with this man, David Schmidt, who is a scientist and an inventor. He is actually a really, really decorated scientist and inventor, and I did not memorize all of his awards and accolades, but they're dang impressive. I actually had the pleasure of getting to listen to David speak in person a couple weeks ago at an event in Orlando. And I will tell you from that experience, two things really stood out to me. One, his energy was so grounded, which felt really good to me. This is a man who has created a lot of success, and he was very down to earth, very grounded energy. And the other thing that really stood out to me is that this man is an inventor through and through. The palpable joy that was just like bubbling out of him as he was talking about his creations, and not just about the invention of them, but the perfecting of them, was pretty cool to witness. So David got started with this. He used to, oops, knock my desk over. He used to live in Georgia. He had a lab that he owned in Georgia outside of a military base, and he was actually contracted by the military to create certain things. There were things like combustible engines and things like that. So the military came to him, and they had a problem, which is when the Navy SEALs would be go on missions that they were submerged in submarines. They had no energy, and they were relying on things like ephedra and caffeine in order to stay awake, in order to have energy to do the things they needed to do. And really, this is because they were underwater. They had no exposure to sunlight. And we know, and luckily, science is really, catching up these days. And I think it's becoming more mainstream to understand that human beings are, we're not just a mechanical process. We are light beings, we are electrical beings, we are frequency beings. So when we're removed from those kind of things, vitality goes down. So they brought on David to create something that would help support their energy levels without this reliance on stimulants. And what he developed was a technology, a device that actually used their body's own light reflected back to them to increase oxygen levels. So that's where this all started. After that contract ended, he decided he wanted to bring this technology to market. And the first thing he created was this thing called the energy enhancer patches, which are amazing. I just tried them for the first time last month and mind blown. Incredible. So it started with these energy enhancer patches, and he got connected in with the Olympics because these patches, and we'll talk more about it in a sec, um, they don't put anything into your body. So they're totally non-transdermal. They're not putting any kind of chemicals, stimulants, or drugs into your body. So with that, they can be cleared to support the Olympic athletes without any kind of problems. So I started using them there, and the Olympic swim team started beating their personal records. They had a huge increase in performance levels. From that, word of mouth got out. There became this, beautiful demand for the patches. And this is important because this is when David clued into the power of networking. And he decided to launch this business actually within this direct sales or network marketing structure because he saw in real life the power of that. This stands out within this business model because a lot of these businesses, direct sale businesses, are actually started by dudes in suits who see it as a profitable model, and really just kind of like do some research, try to pick the best product that's going to make the most amount of money, and that's where the company is born from. This company is really built on David's life's work, his mission, his dedication to creating these inventions that really support humanity. And having a company that's mission based, not just money based, is really different. And it's really important to me. So that's something to really consider. Okay, so he starts the company, he has the energy enhancer patches. And then in 2008, he starts to focus on stem cell research. And his idea is really, his thing is not anti-aging. It's about how do we actually reverse age the body. So he started to look into regenerative science and stem cells. Can you guys see this side of the slides? All right. So he put 10 years of research and $4.5 million. 10 years of research and $4.5 million into product and development for this. And in 2020, he launched what we call his stem cell patch, which is the X39. All right, me and my slides. Okay, so this stem cell patch again, his interest in regenerative medicine, his interest in looking at like how can we actually start to reverse age the body. It's all about stem cells. Stem cells are the master cells in the body. Every cell in your body actually comes from a stem cell. And, this in the last few years, stem cells have gotten really, pretty mainstream, pretty popular. And there's good reason for it because if we want to feel really good and feel really vital as we age, stem cells are something we need to be paying attention to. So the fewer stem cells you have, the faster you age, the slower you heal. Um, I think this part of the slide is pretty funny. Hundreds of millions of people are experiencing symptoms of aging. So again, I have questions about what is all that? Is it purely biological? Is it that we live in this, crazy world that has most of us pretty imbalanced? Is it the stories we have in our head about it? I mean, we know that what happens is as we age, stem cells decline. So there's a decrease in our ability to regenerate. So on this biological, physical level, this is what's happening. At 30, only half of your stem cells are active, and at 60, you have almost no stem cell activity. Now, your stem cells don't actually go away, they just go dormant. And that's where this patch comes in. Oops. All right. So as you're aging, these stem cells are going dormant, and now we have this incredible stem cell patch, which is the X39. So how does it work? I'm going to show you this patch real quick in case you haven't seen it. It's just like this, and like I have mine here. It is a proprietary form of phototherapy. Phototherapy has actually been used in American medicine for over 200 years. It's not woo-woo, it's science. And it's a really beautiful, form of science that understands our response to light. And you can think of this most easily when you think about, the huge biological response that we have to the sunlight. So it is a patented form of nanocrystal technology. So what these patches are is inside them are these nanocrystals. The crystals are grown in a lab. They are a combination of salts, sugars, and amino acids. And each patch, these nanocrystals, are put into a specific design. So each patch has a different design of crystals in it. And that actually changes what the patch does itself. And the way that it does this is the patch, we all have infrared light that emits from our bodies. So it's a few inches that this, measurable infrared light comes out of every living form, and humans included. So the patch reflects your body's own infrared light back to it at a specific wavelength that activates certain processes in the body. The wavelength that it comes back to you with is going to be determined by the design of these nanocrystals in the patch. And I think it's important also to note that those crystals themselves, they're secured in the patch. So those are not actually going into you. The patch is completely non-transdermal. There is nothing going into you. All that's happening is your body's own light is being reflected back to it, and this turns on certain processes in the body. So it's non-transdermal. No drugs, no chemicals, no stimulants, totally non-invasive. This is one of the things I love most about the patch because unlike whether it's pills, pharmaceuticals, or even things like supplements, there's when we're taking something into the body, there is at least on some level an override of the body's own biological process. And what this does is rather than overriding your body's own intelligence, its own biological process, it is reminding your body of what it already knows how to do. That means your body is still in control. So rather than this external substance now controlling certain processes in the body, this allows your body to stay in control. It's just reminding it of what it already knows how to do. Okay, so this is pretty important. So this company itself actually has over 200 patents. This patent that we have on the X39, the stem cell patch, this is your regenerative science patent. And the two big reasons this is important is one, for those of us who are partnered with this company for business, the patent on this patch protects what we're, pouring our time and energy into creating as a business, because nobody else can create this patch. Nobody else can use this technology. They cannot copy it. They can pretend to, but they cannot have what we have. It is protected by that patent. But the other really important thing about the patent is that in order to get a regenerative science patent, you have to prove in human clinical trials that your product does what it says it does. That's vital, right? We don't want to be out here, selling things that are frauds, right? Like we are here for the thing that actually works. This proves that this, and we have many other studies as well, but the patent alone proves that this thing does what it does. And per the patent, what it is proven to do is elevate this copper peptide. I'm going to talk more about that in a sec, including activation of stem cells, improvement in energy, elevation of antioxidants, and there's a few more good ones here. Reduction of inflammation, management of pain, improvements in stamina, elevation of collagen, and improved wound healing. So real quick, I want to talk to you about this peptide. So the X39 patch, what it is doing and how we get all these amazing benefits out of it is actually that it is upregulating your body's own production. This is a naturally occurring peptide in the body, the GHKCU copper peptide. So this peptide has a ton of benefits. If you want to see more of those benefits, you can go to PubMD. I think on PubMD, it's over 150 studies specifically on GHKCU, what it does in the body, and 50 years of research. So the whole way that this patch works is it increases that GHKCU in the body. The GHKCU creates all of these benefits like the stem cells turning back on, the collagen improving, all of this good stuff. So these are the benefits of X39 from our studies on the patches themselves: increased strength, reduced inflammation, increased stamina, energy and vitality, mental clarity, restored muscle condition and muscle and skeletal condition. So that's actually related to the increase in collagen production, which we know is great for our skin, and our hair and our nails and all that stuff, but is actually really important to your muscular and skeletal structure, improvement of sleep, and improved skin appearance. Okay, so this one is pretty dang cool. When I saw this information, I was actually already using the patches. I was already in, but something really clicked for me when I saw this. So per our case studies, this is what we've seen the patches to do. In the first few days alone, 4,000 genes begin to reset. That is wild. In 6 weeks, the brain becomes balanced, and in 3 months, your collagen is increased. We like that. In 6 months, this was the one that got me. The heart begins to reverse in age. So that's from the mean vascular study, which shows heart health. And at 6 months, we can see an actual reversal in age in the heart. When I saw that, when that landed for me, I was like, okay, I am wearing this patch every day for the rest of my life, and so is every single person I love. And they are. So these are some pretty, incredible results from something as simple as this. And if you want to read more testimonials, some people need the information. Some people, it's really about like, what are people's real life experiences? You can go to thisisit.info.com. The patents are also on there. We have over 90 studies on there, and a beautiful testimonial page. So you can go check that out on that website if you want more. Okay, just real quick, this is one of the studies that we did. It's pretty interesting on the brain. So the topography map is a brain scan, a brain map. And what this was a study of about 20 people who, between the ages of 50 and 80, they all had to be living healthy lifestyles and not on medications. And every single person showed positive effects in the study, but this particular woman really stood out. So she came in, and you can see session 1. This is her brain scan. The red is inflammation in the brain. The darker colors are a lack of coherence. So you can see where she started. Session two, this is only 3 weeks later. Look at that. All of the red is gone. All like you guys, I don't have to tell you how important it is to, do what we can to support a reduction of inflammation in the brain. So 3 weeks that inflammation was gone. In another 3 weeks, so 6 weeks total, she not only had no inflammation in her brain, but all of these bright colors are showing brain coherence. So, we talked about a lot of the physical benefits, right? The increase in strength, increase in stamina, the collagen, all this good stuff, but this is happening in your brain. Oops. I'm gonna get the slides. Okay, real quick. I kind of showed you, but this is very simple to do. It's just a little sticker, like a little Band-Aid. You stick it on in the morning, you wear it for 12 hours, you take it off at night. So make sure you drink, get lots of hydration. And that's it. That's it. That's all you have to do. Okay. I told you I was going to tell you a bit about the business, and I'm already at a half an hour. But I'm trying to talk as fast as I can without sounding like a crazy person. All right, this company, this is a very cool company. So this company has actually been around for 20 years. I'm going to tell you in a sec why that's so significant. But we are open in 82 countries worldwide, so lots of places that people can get the patches, and we're continuing to expand. So we opened in 2004, and you can see there's some numbers on here, and these slides are a little bit dated. But the X39 patch, the stem cell patch, came online in 2020. So these are where like the company numbers really started to jump with the launch of this patch in particular, because so many people are having such incredible results with it, and people are also, very tuned in and very excited about stem cells. So we had this beautiful growth. 2021 went from 20 million to 320, and then 430. Last year was about 600 million. And this year is actually projected to be $1 billion in sales. So huge growth. The patents too. We did talk about this, but in partnering with a company, having something that doesn't have not only not a lot, but actually any real competition in the market is, it's a really good place to be in, because there's no one else that is sharing what this can do. All right. So this is a really good piece. And if you're not familiar with this business model, I just want to explain to you that indirect sales, momentum, which is several different components factored into, a particular angle of growth called momentum. There are several things that create momentum in a business. In this business model, momentum is considered the holy grail. And there are people who do direct sales, as a profession, and they actually just go out and jump from company to company to company, waiting to get in with a company or hoping to get in with a company that has momentum, because it is the holy grail. Momentum is what I like to describe it as a wave. When it moves through a company, I'm sure you felt momentum in your own life, but when it moves through a company like this, it's free energy. It is like surfing. You get that wave, and that wave is then moving you in, right? Like if you're surfing, you hop on the wave. You don't have to paddle all the way to shore. You're not using your effort. You're not using your force. That wave is carrying you. And yes, in business, there are things we have to do, and we do have to show up. We do have to take action. But when you have momentum behind you, there's so much energy that's moving that isn't directly coming just from your own output. So this is actually really important. But one of the interesting things, and LifeWave is ranked #1 in momentum for the last year and a half. That's huge in the world. But what's really cool, and this was for me that electricity that I told you when I first tuned into the business, this is what this was, is that this company is number one in momentum, but it is a 20-year-old company. Most companies in direct sales only have momentum when they're new. But when they're new, they can also come with a lot of bumpiness. So there can be some downsides to that. And this company is like a unicorn in that it has 20 years of stability, 20 years of a solid foundation. It knows who it is, it knows what it's doing, it knows where it's going. It's not going anywhere. And they're number one in momentum. That is a beautiful and rare combination. The other thing I just want to point out is this is a website you can go to, businessforhome.org, that it tracks like all the numbers in direct sales companies. I actually went on to this website and I looked at the top 10 companies in momentum. Not one of them paid out commission 60%. So this estimated payout, we're going to talk a little more in a sec about how you can actually get paid here. But this is combining, there's really two avenues to get paid in this business. This combines both of them, but not one other company paid their partners 60%. That's really important too. All right, it's me and going back. Okay, the business. So coming in and getting started is actually really easy. And what I kind of want to just land to you real quick, because all of the details of the business, if you decide to join us, we're going to teach you all of that later. So there's nothing you really need to know now. And if you're unfamiliar with this business model, it's not going to make sense anyways. But what we have is what's called a binary. So you can get paid here through your own sales, earning commissions from your own sales, and you can get paid from the volume of your sales, which go into what's called a binary. This is the structure of our comp plan. From that binary, you can get paid out to $25,000 a week just from that piece. That doesn't include your own sales, and it doesn't include potential bonuses. So the potential for earning here is huge. I have looked at a lot of network marketing companies. I don't know one that pays people so well. So again, we have the 60% back to the brand partner, but also the top level earners here are earning money that I haven't seen in one other company. It's pretty wild. So it's a beautiful opportunity to step into. And I just wanted to dip into something real quick about this kind of business. So what we have, there's most of the world, and most of people's relationship to earning income and work is this very linear transaction of trading your time for money. But a lot of people have started to wake up in the last few years, I think, especially since the pandemic and so many people coming online to do business, and that trade of your hour, your time for money is a trap. Because your most precious commodities, your most precious resource is your time and energy. And yes, I think all of us want to earn an abundant income, but we also want to have the time and the energy to be able to live in a way where we can really show up for the other things in life that are deeply important to us. And the way that the model is, the standard model is set up is you're spending most of your life working, hoping to retire in your later years to finally get to go live your life. I don't think most people want that anymore. Like we're cued into that is not a natural way to live. That is not supportive of the organic human. We want to be able to be present to and pour ourselves into our lives now, not later. We don't want to spend all our time and energy working, which doesn't mean we, be lazy and do nothing, but just what is the value system? And so the way out of that trap is three things: residual, leveraged, passive income. These three things allow you to step outside of that dollar per hour trade. And these things are in this system of business. And this is why I do this business. And when I experienced it really for myself, I knew I would never live without some component of leveraged residual or passive income. So residual income means you have the time and energy up front, but then you're going to be paid repeatedly without continuing to have to put time and energy into it. So here, for instance, you have time and energy to share the patches with someone. They buy the patches, you've put that in, but now, people are on the subscriptions, they're staying on the patches, they're getting the benefits, they're compounding. So now you're no longer putting that time and energy into it, but you continue to get paid. Leveraged, if you're building this as a business, you're getting paid again, not only from your own sales, but from the people you're partnered with. That structure of the comp plan with the volume allows you to leverage. So we're leveraging other people's efforts as well as the team-wide resources that we have here. So this is really a collaborative experience. You are very autonomous in this business. You are your own boss. Nobody can tell you what to do. You get to decide when you want to work, how you want to work, how much you want to work. But we're in collaboration with each other. And so we're utilizing shared resources, shared systems that leverage our time and energy. They free up our time and energy, but still move results. And passive income, this is not a straight passive income, little actually is, but there is an opportunity for this to be built into something that is quite passive. So this is the why on this business model. This is why I'm here for this business model. Okay, so on top of what you just saw, this potential $25,000 a week from the binary, you have matching bonuses. This means when you have other people you're partnered with that are doing well, the company pays you. So we're really motivated here. It's not there's no gatekeeping. Every person here is really motivated to support you in doing well because this is an ecosystem. And, when you do well, if you come in and you partner with me, when you do well, I get paid from the company. You get paid from the company. Everybody's winning. And the way that this binary structure that I referred to, and don't worry if you don't fully understand that, the way that it works is the energy, the volume, the money is really moving both up and down. And this is really beautiful because when you come in, I'm getting paid from the company for what you do in your business, but you're actually getting volume from me into one half of your business. So it's not just this like all funneling to the top. It actually goes both ways. It's one of the things I love about this business model if you actually understand it. Okay, and real quick, I just want to mention one more thing on doing this as a business. Don't worry about these numbers if they look complex to you. If you come join us, we can explain all of that to you later. So I just want you to know, there are really two ways to do this as a business. One is as an affiliate and one is as a builder. And you get to pick your pathway. You get to choose what works best for you. Because when you join as a brand partner, you're going to get your link. You can share this as an affiliate. Most people here are probably, pretty familiar with the affiliate model. So you're sharing a link that you love with your community. You earn a commission when they purchase. The benefit to this over regular affiliate is you're getting paid every time. So standard affiliate, you get paid once when someone orders and you never get paid again. If they have auto ship on, if they have subscriptions, if they order new products in the future, you don't get paid. If you want to work this business model just as an affiliate, you're going to have the advantage of real residual income, which means when that person signs up for auto ship and they get their patches next month and next month and next month, you get paid every single time. So it's an affiliate with bonuses. Or you can come in and you can build with us. And building means that you're connecting with other people who also love the patches and want to share them with their community. And or see this as a business opportunity that they really want to run with and generating an income. So when you partner with other people who are doing the business, you really start to access the deeper layers of income possible. But both paths are beautiful and you get to choose what you want to do and you can always change your mind. Okay. So, getting started, like I said, it's really easy. If you want to come in as a customer, if you're not into the business right now, that is totally fine. You can come in as a customer. It's perfect. You know, start trying the patches. You do want to get yourself signed up on auto ship as a customer. So this is called preferred customer at checkout. And what that does is it gives you a $50 discount on the X39. So rather than being 149 a month, it's going to drop it down to $99 a month, and it's really easy to cancel anytime. So customer is perfect if that's where you want to start, but get on that auto ship so that you're getting the discount. And if you want to join us as a brand partner, this is really easy as well. We have these brand partner packages you can choose from. Coming in as a brand partner, you're going to be getting wholesale pricing or deeper on your patches. You'll also get your link. So again, you can choose what you want to do with this, you know, share it casually, come build a business with us. Um, there's never any pressure, there's never any obligation, but you'll have that link to build if you want to. But you're only paying for the patches themselves. So in all of these brand partner packages, there are no extra fees. You're just paying for your product, just for the patches you're going to use for yourself. So no risk. If you are like curious, you want to try the patches first, you're not quite sure, you want to see what's going to happen, you might want to start with the core pack. That's going to be 3 months worth, so 3 sleeves. Each sleeve is a month, month's worth of the X39. That's $295. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention. So remember we're looking at that chart, and there were some really big benefits at 3 months in. You want to give these patches at least 3 months. And I actually tell people, like, if you're not going to commit to 3 months, don't even bother. Just wait till you're ready for that. Because what we've seen in our studies is that 98% of the people have results in 3 months. That's significant. So give yourself at least 3 months. That's also when the collagen starts to produce. And that's also when there's a really big uptick in the stem cells turning back on. So that 3 month marker is important, although the doctors in the community say that they recommend to their clients a month for every decade of your life. So perhaps a little bit longer. I think I was closer to 4 before I started really seeing results. But the core is going to give you at least those 3 months to start. So that's good if you're just like not quite sure yet. Advanced, you're going to get 6 sleeves, 6 months worth. This is great if you know you want to do the business. There's some business benefits to that. Also really great if you have, you know, maybe a partner you want to put patches on or family members that you want to give them to. Come in at the advanced. And the premium, if you're an all-in kind of person and you can feel, you know, the potential here, both in the patches and in the business, and you don't like to wait, you just want to go for it. Or maybe you have a really big family that you want to be patching up because you also saw what happens at 6 months, then go with the premium. So core is wholesale pricing, advanced you're getting an additional $10 discount, and premium is an even deeper discount. So that's the best price on the patches. You're going to get 20 sleeves of X39 with that. You get some additional business benefits with that one as well. Okay, I'm almost wrapped up, but I want to tell you guys about two other exciting things. If you are, you know, feeling this and want to come join us now. So we have two things going on. One is company-wide. We are in the middle of a promotion where you can earn a trip to the Bahamas. So this is a fully paid for trip. I kind of accidentally earned the one last year. And let me tell you, I learned I had a new love language in business because we just got spoiled and it felt so good to just receive like that. I actually spoil myself quite a bit, but to be spoiled by a company you're working for, I've never experienced that before, and it was absolutely delightful. So this incentive just started a couple weeks ago. It runs through the middle of October, and the way that you earn it is through your business activities. So everything that you're doing in your business is going to start to earn you points you can build up to getting this trip. Come to the Bahamas with us. You know, it's not only great to get spoiled, but also to connect with people in real life. And then the second thing that's special, that's also, you know, really meant to support you in getting those points to earn the trip to the Bahamas is that our team, which our team under me, we are going to be doing a 4-week container. So this is something that I'm running for our team specifically. Within the larger team, we have so many resources to connect into. So our larger team runs calls. Um, Every week we have a team training call. We have an opportunity call like this. They actually happen every week that somebody holds. And we also have a testimonial call. And I forgot to mention that before, but if you want to hear, real experiences, ask whoever brought you here for the link to the testimonial call. Those are every Thursday. It's going to be right after this, actually, so you can reach out and get the link if you want. They're amazing. Just come hear from people and in their own voices, what's been happening. So we have all these larger team calls to step into. So this is not something I do all the time, but I am doing it as, just this extra layer of support and celebration for our team specifically to try to get this Bahamas trip. And I'm going to be hosting this 4 weeks. It's really giving you the basics of how to build your business. But in my flavor, which is after 10 years of online entrepreneurship and working now with hundreds of women, mentoring them in business, one of the things I've noticed is you can take a really large group of people, you can put them together, give them the same action steps, and everyone's going to have really wildly different results. So why is that? Because it's not just the surface level, it's not just the action. It's what's going on underneath. So the way that I do business, yes, we have the action pieces and we're going to give you, the step-by-step breakdown if you're coming in and just joining us now of how to actually get started in your business. But we're also going to take a look into the deeper stuff. So looking at the energetics, the subconscious, the nervous system work. Because what I've seen is that when you start to do that work, that internal work, and then you align it with the actions, that's when things start to move. That's when business lights up. That's when money starts to flow. So this is going to be our 4 weeks, our 30-day activation portal. We're going to be starting this September 4th. If you join us now, you'll be able to get in on it. If you're watching this as a replay past these dates, don't worry. We'll have all of this accessible to you, and these team runs to earn these trips go once a year. So if you're watching this way later, there's still something to look forward to. But if you're here on this call, live now or watching it the next couple days, there really isn't a better time to do this because, you're getting this business opportunity, you're getting these amazing patches that you can start to wear and share with the people you love, and you're getting these, extra juicy, exciting bonuses of being able to, potentially earn this trip and join us for this amazing portal activation and do some deep dive into the business work. And we would love to have you. So I did definitely not make a half hour. Thank you, everyone, for sitting through this with me. Thank you for your presence, for your time and energy today. And if you have any questions, please go back to the person that invited you. And if you are ready to join us, please go tell them you are ready and they will send you a link and help you get set up. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.